Bruce Holland has dedicated nearly 6 decades to the construction industry, including 40 years leading Holland Construction Services as its founder and chief executive officer. Since establishing the company in 1986, Bruce has built an organization rooted in strong relationships, disciplined growth, a commitment to customer and employee satisfaction, and building with integrity. Bruce's story didn't start in a corner office. It started at age 17 with a tool belt, a work ethic handed down from his father, and a union carpenter card from the Mid-America Carpenters Regional Council. He learned the trade from the ground up, literally, swinging a hammer on residential job sites and absorbing lessons that no business school could teach. That early foundation instilled in Bruce something rare: a deep personal respect for the craft, the workers, and the communities that construction serves. Holland Construction Services has grown into one of the most trusted names in the industry, building across healthcare, education, municipal, industrial, commercial, and residential markets throughout Missouri and Illinois. From recreation centers and high schools to hospitals and food manufacturing facilities, the Holland name is stamped on the skyline of this region. But here's what sets Holland apart, and what sets Bruce apart. It was never about being the biggest. It was about building a company based on the power of long-lasting relationships, and never losing sight of their main point of difference in the industry: an uncompromising commitment to integrity. Because Bruce has never believed that a company's impact stops at the job site, his civic fingerprints are all over this region. He has served as past president of the Leadership Council of Southwestern Illinois. He's sat on the executive committee of the St. Louis Regional Chamber. He's been a board member of the Regional Business Council, a trustee and chairman of the Southern Illinois Construction Advancement Program, and a long dedicated leader with the United Way of Greater St. Louis, where he received the prestigious Freeman Courtcamp Award. His work with the Boy Scouts of America, both the Greater St. Louis Area Council and the Lewis and Clark Council, earned him not 1, but 2 distinguished honors, including a Lifetime Achievement Award. And on the ground, Bruce has been right there alongside his team, in Cahokia Heights, partnering with the Urban League of Metropolitan St. Louis on cleanup buildup, rolling up his sleeves to revitalize the very communities his company helps build. The accolades have followed, not because Bruce sought them out, but because a life lived with that kind of integrity tends to get noticed. The EY Entrepreneur of the Year Central Midwest Award, the Southern Illinois University Edwardsville Distinguished Service Award, the HSHS St. Elizabeth Foundation Elizabethan Award, given annually to someone whose commitment to faith and service is, simply put, inspiring. Each one a reflection of a man who builds more than buildings. 60 years in the industry, 40 years leading one of its finest companies, a legacy measured not in projects completed or roles held, but in the strengthened institutions, communities, and professionals shaped by his leadership. One professional deeply impacted by Bruce's leadership is the current president of Holland Construction, Mike Marshall. In support of this honor, here's what Mike had to say.
Bruce, it is an honor to be able to congratulate you on this well-deserved Lifetime Achievement Award. You are somebody that we all admire and look up to so much, not just because of what you've built, but for how you've done it. You have always put the community first. You are always incredibly generous with your time and treasure, putting others' needs ahead of your own. You are a true mentor to so many of us and a servant leader in the truest sense of the word. Our organization would not exist if you hadn't created it 40 years ago, but we are so much stronger because of your example. I am honored and blessed to be able to call you my partner and my friend. Congratulations, Bruce.
In celebration of a career that reflects sustained leadership, community impact, and industry advancement, a litany of professional accomplishments, and the enduring legacy he has created through service, mentorship, and mutual respect, the Edwardsville Glen Carbon Chamber of Commerce is proud to honor Bruce Holland with the 2026 Lifetime Achievement Award.